Hey everybody, how's it going? Let's talk about your home recording studio. Today, this is kind of something a little different. I'm got myself kind of in the middle of a project here, and I figured it might be fun to take you along for the ride, if for no other reason you can laugh if I completely fail. This guitar is the Hagstrom Viking that I bought about a year ago, did a video on it. I honestly, in the year since then, I love this guitar. Pickups and all, feels great, sounds great, plays great. The one thing that drove me absolutely nuts about it was the three-way toggle switch. And even in that unboxing video, I remarked that it didn't feel all that great. It was kind of wobbly and loose. And in the months to follow, it just got worse and worse. And eventually it got to where it wasn't reliable on whether it would allow me to switch between neck and bridge pickups. And I just picked it up last week and tried to play it, and it wouldn't even allow me to select the neck pickup. So I figured it was time to either investigate the three-way toggle switch and decide whether to try to repair it or just replace it. I think just given how kind of loose and goofy it is, I'm just going to replace it. Even if it can be repaired, I think I'd rather just have a higher quality switch in here anyways. So let's give it a try. Let's see if I can replace the three-way toggle switch. So the point at which I'm at here in the project, first thing I did was I tied a string around the, whatever you call this, the post, whatever, of the toggle. And before I loosened anything and dropped it into the guitar body. Then I undid the nuts, the washer and the nut, and dropped it down into the guitar body. Now the height of this thing is pretty much the same height as the internal chamber, up here on the horn. And so it took a little bit of finagling to kind of get it turned so that it could free fall, and I could get to it through the F-hole. So nothing incredibly technical has happened so far. You can see the string going down into the body, and it's coming out the hole where it belongs. So that way I can tie this around the new toggle and pull it through and hopefully get it into place. So once I actually broke this thing open and took a look at it, and I'm not sure how well you can really see over the camera here, but it's a pretty simple little mechanism. We have 3 posts down here. Actually, where's my little stick? We have 3 posts down here that represent each pickup and the combined output from both of them. So that middle one, both of the 2 posts are tied together here. So that looks like it's the output. And then neck pickup, bridge pickup. And what I've done here is I did a little bit of sleuthing to figure out which was which. And I took a Sharpie and I marked the output with a big bold black mark. I marked the bridge pickup with a single black dot, and I marked the neck pickup with 2 black dots here. So hopefully that allows me to get these connected how they were. The shielding from all 3 cables, if you might be able to see, is tied together and soldered on over here. So it's grounded here. I got 2 pickups and an output. And looking at the solder joints here, like none of them look bad, nothing moves. I'm not exactly sure. Nothing just immediately jumps out at me as being wrong or defective with this switch. So let me get my little helping hands here. I am by no means any sort of an experienced solderer, and I'm in the US, we just call it solder. The L is silent. I know in other parts of the world, to call somebody a solder would be rather impolite, if not fighting words. So if you're from one of those parts of the world, and you or someone you know is a solder, no offense. So I guess operation number 1 is let's get these 3 wires disconnected. And I've got my soldering iron heated up. I have not touched a soldering iron in about 4 years. I was never all that great at it to begin with. So this might be more of a comedy than anything. Let's get a hold of a wire. Let's heat up the joint. Man, I got the shakes or something here today. There we go. There's one. There's two. Change hands here. All right, there's three. But I do need to heat up this joint and hopefully be able to get this off of there. There we go. My goodness, that really did not want to let go, did it? All right, the switch is free, and I bet it is hotter than snot right now, too. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's take a look at what I got to replace this thing with. Same idea, it looks like. Oh yeah, I like that, like it's a much easier push, but same kind of idea. Okay, let me get the nut off. So there's no, doesn't look like there's a washer. And I'm trying to, sorry if things keep going in and out of focus, I'm trying manual focus on the cameras to get a tight focus, but let's get a new little knot tight on here. So there we go. Okay, that's on there real good. Now, StewMac did provide a wiring diagram, it looks like. 80s wall and other effects, that's not it. True bypass, wiring a status indicator LED. I don't know if they... Oh yeah, they sent me a thing for a stomp switch and not for a toggle switch. That's kind of a bummer. Well, their website has the info about which poles are which. I believe this side is the output, and I'll want to bend those to tie them together. I believe one of these is the neck pickup, one is the bridge pickup, and I think this big thick one here is the out, or is the ground. All right, let me go look it up on their website and make sure I got that right. Okay, yes, it looks like I had that right. So I guess first things first, let's bend these guys just a wee bit. Tie them together. So neck is over here. So that was this guy here. And actually now let me think about orientation. I think that I want it like this, given the way the wires are turning. I think that was a miss, actually. Well, no. I mean, it's stuck on there. Okay, let me touch number 2 here and see if that'll at least stick it in place for me. It will not. There we go. All right, and Mr. Output. Ha! I managed to solder my alligator clip to it. That's a neat trick, huh? All right, I would like for these to clamp together a little better. Let's try these and see if this convinces it. Last thing I want to do is break them off or anything. Just trying to be as gentle as I can, but you still got to be persuasive. So this fella here has got to reach all the way to there. All right, so I think what I want to do is flow it one more time while clamping those little pins together. There we go. So I think what we have so far is output, neck pickup, bridge pickup. Now we got to figure out a good way to get this little teeny tiny pigtail here connected to the output, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do. Okay, I think I have this positioned to where it's not going to short to ground, but I don't know for sure. So let's give this a try here. Oh, it's close. It's very close. But I think I've got it. Kind of singed a couple of wires there in the process, but I'm not proposing that I'm any sort of expert at this. Let me get the wires arranged here so they're not gonna do anything weird on me. And I don't know if you can see it or not. Where's my little bamboo thing? There's just barely a gap right here for the between the ground and the, what is that, neck pickup. All right, well, I think what I need to do now, before I go through the trouble to fish this back to the body, is go ahead and plug in the guitar and just, click it back and forth a couple times and make sure that all is well. All right, so that's neck. That's both. Okay. Or I'm sorry, that first one was bridge, then both, now neck. Okay. Okay, one other little caveat here is that specs on the StewMac website said that the little, what do you call it, collet or whatever, the threaded part was 12 millimeters. And when I measured the old one, it came out to like 11.7 or something like that. So this may not willingly fit through the hole in the body here. I won't know until I try, because the string is here taking up space. So I'm just gonna see if I can fish it through and get it to work, get it to fit. And if not, I'm gonna have to go find, I got a round file somewhere. I'm probably gonna have to take off like a 0.5 millimeter of diameter of this hole here. All right, wish me luck. Let's see how this goes. So first we'll feed this back down into here. I will start pulling on my string. Okay, I'm gonna persuade this just a little bit to turn the way I want it to. There we go. Let me get the spare bit of string out of the way as well. There we go. Okay, is it going to go? Oh my goodness. It might. I think it did. Hey, I think it fit through the hole. We've got just a couple of threads exposed here. Now let me get this rotated right. So I think that's about how I want it. I've still got the old nut and washer on the string here. So let me get those off. Okay. Again, get the little bit of string up through here. See if that thing will thread on. It kind of doesn't want to. Yeah, it's not quite catching. So let's pull up. It came out of the box threaded on there, so I know darn well it will. It's just being stubborn. There we go. I think that's catching. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, so it's not rotated quite right. I want that to be pointing straight down, just about like that. All right. That really sticks up above the body a whole lot, but there's very little wiggle in it, so that's good. It switches easy. It doesn't, yeah, so that was one of the complaints I was worried about with these. Some people say that they flip back into the middle position without much provocation, but that's got just enough resistance. Same there. Yeah, perfect. I am kind of bummed that my my fancy Hagstrom toggle tip cover, whatever you call it, doesn't really want to thread on there. I'm afraid if I force it, it's just going to crack. I don't know. Anybody out there have any suggestions? I would imagine something hot to just poke in there to enlarge the inner diameter of it a little bit. Because honestly, I don't want just a generic switch tip on here. I like the little H, the script H for Hagstrom. So yeah, if you got any big bright ideas of how to make an undersized toggle fit a slightly oversized stem here, yeah, let me know in the comments. All right, now I guess it's time for the moment of truth. All right, I got it on the neck pickup. Good. Middle. Excellent. And neck. All right, that makes me very, very happy. Well, thank you all so much for following along with me through this whole thing. Yeah, as you can see, I'm certainly no pro, no expert, no guitar tech or anything, but I'm so happy to have this thing back in functioning order and be able to just play and not have to worry about it and switch to whatever pickup I feel like anytime. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I guess I'll see you guys again next time.